What is going on YouTube? This is Ask the Root. So I'm gonna review the fourth album by rapper Moneybagg Yo. Basically, this project is called The Gangsta's Pain, and it came out in the spring of 2021. So within the particular fair about it here within these pitches, basically 2010s trap and 2020s trap was pretty much in full swing around this particular time as far as these fairs can happen. Definitely some excellent type pitches. Now, I knew about Moneybagg I knew about Moneybagg Yo more or less within these pitches, but some of these projects came out at a particularly kind of divisive era with things as far as the aspect between like trap and some of those type things kind of being more within the aspect where critics and certain things to kind of say here and there type things about it just from the pitch as far as those particular products about it. So it's just from the pitch. In my opinion, I definitely feel like this particular cat, like I do remember Black Youngsta. Wikipedia says that Moneybagg Yo dropped a collaborative mixtape with Black Youngsta. He has similarities to him from what I remember. Definitely gave me vibes of the baby pitches like that. Some of those type folks in particular, just a similar type fashion to where he's pretty mistakable for that particular fellow as far as what's going to happen. And he does have a pretty similar timbre in his voice to Yo Gotti within those pitches. So it's good type stuff. This is a product. Basically, Moneybagg Yo was on Yo Gotti's label, which Yo Gotti was starting to be around increasingly less throughout the 2020s. Not to say it's full bound like that, but it's just the pitch that he had found. Yo Gotti started the CMG label within pitches like that. I think possibly in like the mid 2010s. I'm not sure it's full, but it might have even been further back in the early 2010s pitches like that. But it was labeled that some of these artists started to manifest within those ordeals. So it's kind of pitch as far as getting towards that. But I definitely need to get to Moneybagg Yo, so it's glad to get that to pretty particularly kind of happen here. The fair about this product is this is a bulky classic as far as this fair's gonna happen. So it's definitely the pitch. Out of the 20 songs on here, I recommend all 20. So it's within those pitches. There's actually 22 songs in here, but two of them are interludes within those pitches. So I recommend every song on here that's actually a song. Simple enough, kind of 10 out of 10 within those aspects as far as the viciousness of it kind of goes. It's just kind of fashion. When this product talks about Gangsta's Pain, it is kind of the fashion. I'm forgetting what I was talking about here, but it is kind of the fashion as far as saying that this particular album was a classic within the aspects as far as those tones kind of happen. It's just within the pitch as far as saying that this particular fair definitely some blistering typeness to be able to get this product as far as these aspects going to happen. It's yeah, bulky type album within these pitches, like the concept of nailing 20 out of 20 songs within these pitches. Excellent type for him to have that particular blistering type appeal. And the particular fair, but that's what I was gonna say. It's just the factoid as far as saying that this album has some particular pain about it, like the name of the album being called The Gangsta's Pain. It has this particular pitch, similar to Lil Baby within the fashion, but just less dark within the fashions of it. It has some hair about this product, pretty much like a 2020s trap version of something Tupac would have done back in 95 and 96, those type of ordainments when you think of songs like Holla at Me and songs like Holla at Me and Picture Me Rolling, some of those type of ones, and other type ones like I Ain't Mad at You, some of those type of pitches with like that particular depth. This is very much a product that has like its bruisedness. That particularly, it's not as super commonplace. I can think of like Street Soldiers within the full band. It's not to say like this didn't happen. There may be folks that did particularly do this, but the baby was pretty a lot more floss like within the aspect. He wasn't quite as harrowing. Lil Baby kind of did some of that, but it's just kind of more within the fashion like particular brooding. But it's just kind of aspect of it's kind of more or less like a summer ride out type album, just more in a 2020s trap type fashion, just a new era type aspect, something like All Eyes on Me, just not quite as like exuberant. All Eyes on Me is a little bit more jubilant and greener with the aspect, and I don't mean green in terms like inexperience. I mean in terms like the lushness. This kind of the product is something you'd listen to in a bright August or July pitch like that when the leaves are green, pitches like that. But it's just kind of say here within these products, it's very much like a boisterous type album within the pitch, but it's just kind of the concept as far as saying that it has the harrow on here in terms of like a Thug's Pain pitches like that within those aspects as far as saying it's kind of some moroseness within the factoid as far as just getting towards the product, but it does it within a prime type era of where trap music kind of was. Trap was on like its seventh, eighth, ninth year of being in the prime spotlight as a multitude of these folks started to do things within those aspects as far as getting to album type fairs. It's just a pitch. I am gonna have to get to further Moneybagg Yo type products. Also like the Code Red type product that he did with Black Youngsters, some of those type folks from the pitch. So it's just good type products to get to some of these. But yeah, so when I had said in the past that particular music from the 2020s was not as affable, I look at the pitch as far as saying nowadays the shit that I would have said back in like 2022 or 2023 within the fashion, I have a lot of like using the eraser as far as those pitches can have. Not to say full bound within like it was mistaken within those concepts, but just the pitch as far as saying the reasoning behind that is just compared to like I noticed that things are not as full bound kind of health centric within these recent type times. It seems like there was kind of like certain degrees like more health prone and kind of gym fit type stuff. Not to say it's full bound having problems with that, but just the pitch as far as just being more fastidious and pitches like that. It's more hustle centric and like cleansing all your vices, some of the stuff. Ferris was this kind of pitch that 2021 wasn't really like that. It's this kind of pitch when you pay attention the pandemic type stuff with the aspect was really not that bad when you think of albums by like Roddy Ricch and DaBaby and Lil Baby and Moneybagg Yo and folks like that. Just a bunch of these folks further type folks that were kind of within the dynamic type spotlight of 2020, 2021, 2022 pitches like that. It's kind of the ordeals that this was some banner type stuff. This further 10s out of 10. Yeah, simple enough. This product gets a 10 out of 10. So it's just blistering type appeal, realizing that taking it back, really 2021, the spring of 2021 was not that lengthy ago within those pitches, but just kind of some blistering type heat to be able to say within the time. Originally, I would have thought that it was a quieter spell, but things were pretty much in full stride as far as those aspects can happen. This is just a sheer thought of that, and not just in like a small or minor type amount. It's kind of the pitch as far as saying that, this is a bulky type album, and it takes it a step further with the deluxe edition, which in addition to 20 songs that are on this album, it adds 6 new ones in the fall of 2021. So I'm not going to review that edition, but I will eventually get to it. This is the product as far as saying. So yeah, there are 3 singles on the standard edition. And then I'll just go in on every other song on here within those ordeals. But yeah, simple 10 out of 10. But yeah, Time Today is the lead single. It's like a shrill and feeling jive kind of step out, I had to say here. This reminds like the Baby and Yo Gotti and Roddy Ricch, some side folks, I'd say, with them pitch behind it. This very flashy type song. It's typical kind of street light type noise within the pitch as far as those aspects kind of happen just within the product, to like shrill type turn ups and those type aspects within the tone. This really nails the aspect of like some tittering kind of ness and the aspect of this like particular kind of night shift, this easy kind of like Arby's runs pitches like that. Some type products like the after hours fares just within pitches like that. So this good type fare, neighborhood kind of frolic pitches like that. So this is some good type fares. So just some step out gas station runs pitches like that, picking up some easy kind of goodies. Hell swishers nearby in the whip and just nearby in the neighborhood pitches like that. So good type ordeals. Hard for the Next is a nice one. This has Future on here. Good type tones for this. This is like a nice Instagram ballad, I'd have to say, within the aspects of it. Just typical kind of plush trap malaise, I'd say, within the tones as far as this pitch can happen. This reminds like Lil Durk songs type folks. This one's just a plain and simple type one for the ladies as far as those pitches can happen, along with it within the tones as far as getting towards it. Just easy kind of Instagram story type noise and this feed type bleed as far as those aspects can happen. So just the pitch as far as saying this particular kind of strike opposed pitches like that within some type of ordeals, just be social kind of within a more lush type aspect. So it's just a typical type fashion for something a little bit more glossy. It's a good type fare. It's unfortunate that Future wasn't on more of like a turn up type song with still some good type fashions, getting this particular dynamite type one within pitch. And then Waukesha is the third single. And this is a nice one. This samples like the One More Chance remix by Biggie. Classic sample, obviously, within those pitches. You should know this particular production within hip hop pretty well, I'd have to say. But yeah, it's just a new era type flip within those type aspects. The Shanti did it in the early 2000s. Just a good type pitch to get this particular revisit about it. But it's like a typical kind of day slag passage, I'd have to say, in like a new era kind of trap fashion. So it's just the product getting like a dynamite song out of rap music from way back in 1995 and putting like a 2021 spin on it as far as this pitch can happen. Just a good taste, like some urban kind of music as far as those fairs were going to happen. And this album is mostly kind of popular within a pretty trajectory type sense. Just the pitch. I mean, Instagram definitely picked up this album pretty well. I'd say pitches like that, social media, places like X or Twitter, some of those type fairs within pitches, places like that within those ordeals, the standard type fare, Snapchat, TikTok, some of those type places. Just kind of the product as far as saying, despite the fact that the rhythmic kind of popularity of this album was not where this album was. I think it's not to say Moneybagg Yo didn't have that popularity, but in terms of him being on like the radio with like the standard type appeal where it's going to be the number ones, the number twos, the number threes, pitches like that, and like the Billboard 100 radio where some of those type folks are going to be. It's not within those full bound type pitches, but I definitely feel like for a taste like urban music, it hits pretty heavily within the pitch as far as those first comes. So it's just definitely within the pitch. Not to say the commercial aspect of this to be slight, but it's this kind of pitch. Probably more fashions where like or social media, more centric type pitches would kind of happen. But it's definitely, it has the ordeal. There are some moments on here that do have some makeshift type moments. It's kind of the appeal as far as having like the occasional breakthrough within pitch, but I just don't know his full bound if Moneybagg Yo got to those particular heights. But it's not like he couldn't, but it's just kind of pitched it with this particular fair. It just kind of has more urban type. It's excellent social media type bangers. So I look within. So yeah, simple enough. This album gets a 10 out of 10. Recommend every song off here. Now, I'm just going to kind of burn through these because there's a lot of songs on here, so I'm not going to designate pretty much unless within the fashion, Trip Star's on here. Don't know who that is full bound. Polo G and Lil Durk is on here. Big 30 is on here. Now, he has a particular affiliate that I looked up that was named Big Nusky or something like that. It's unfortunate. I was hoping he had dropped some music, but he passed on not too long ago. I was going to get to some of his type music, but apparently I don't know how much if he put out products or something like that. But his affiliate or cousin, his affiliate and cousin, Big 30's on here, so that's excellent type pitches for that. Kassaw Page is on here, just some folks like that. Janae Aiko, nice cameo from her as far as this pitch can happen. Pharrell's on here as well within some type fairs. But just say, yeah, there's plenty of these, so just to get towards the product of it. So a lot of these have some pretty vicious type aspects, like Just Say Dat is like a gothic and sparkly kind of night shift traffic you can get within these tones. It's a dope kind of DaBaby 2020s trap type. Kind of a dope DaBaby kind of 2020s trap type fashions within pitch behind. So just the particular fair, just something with like a little bit more shrill type factor. Pretty similar. Goes within good type fashions of Time Today. It has like a good frosty amount of gothicness about it as far as those fairs are gonna have. So good type stuff there. Go is a quality one as well as like a litty kind of cretinous turn up. I'd say within the aspects of it here, just good mess hall type music. I'd have to say just two step, definitely some two step kind of homies dap and meme out kind of fun as far as this pitch gonna have. So this one's a little bit more centered within pitch. This one's a little bit more frivolous within the tone. A lot of this particular album has a lot more hero about it, similar to like folks like Lil Baby and some other folks like that, like YNW Melly, some of those type pitches. But this is some particular aspects just within the tone as far as saying that has a little bit more just frolic of, putting a few swishers in the air and backwoods, some of those type pitches within the product, just like some good kind of gallivants and jaunts like the night shift as far as this first guy said, just like the cretinous type aspect about some of those type ones. If pain was a person's a nice one as well. It's like a glaring and pounding kind of new era trap grimace kind of get with the aspects of it here. Just stunt up. I would definitely say about this one, just some deep ponder. So just kind of pitch as far as saying just glossed out as hell pitches like that. Just definitely some floss type notes within some of those type products, but just also the aspect of just having some rumination just nearby where this is kind of some of those type fashions where most things are going to probably pop up in your rear view as far as those pitches kind of happen just in the tone as far as just not so much not having the time but just kind of aspect of just kind of having more fashions about it where this would be more busybody within a sense of just having like particular kind of stunt type notions where this is high up within the pitch of being able to have like some room to kind of gallivant pitches like that in a more heavy type sense. So this kind of has that particular pitch about it, but it does have some hair. I do feel like the ponder about this album is just kind of more with an after effect of just like the after products of just like personal type struggle pitches like that. So it's kind of ordeal as far as having some of those type ones, but good type product. Projects is a nice one. It's like a vintage kind of mid 2000s DJ drama mixtape soul to get here within these aspects, and like a neighborhood kind of anguish, I'd say. There's kind of some home slump. So this is like a familiar type one. This is more neighborhood with an aspect of this kind of familiar faces, pitches like that. This kind of aspect like the tones of this senior, seeing an old home that you haven't been by in a while, or just pitches like that. Some of those type products to just like the particular feeling that you get within like that nostalgia trip, but just like some bogusness, but this kind of aspect at the same time of just like, home is home. It's this home sweet home type fashion. Just a more hero type sense. It's just the product of like kind of a bittersweet type nostalgia as far as those aspects can happen. It's just good type products for some of that. Same thing kind of goes about with the song Change the Subject. It's like a jury kind of Lil Baby like vibes about this particular song, similar to like the sort of fashions that he kind of has within some of those type tones, like a neighborhood errands and personable. The song is like some neighborhood errands and personal gripes as far as those fairs can happen. So just more homebound type pitch, just an aspect, this particular type aspects of just dealing with like this more home plate type struggle, some of those type pitches in the format, but it's kind of somewhat productive in the pitch, just mild kind of errands pitches like that. Get some basic steadfast kind of traffic taking care of some of those type pitches within it. Shottas La La is a nice one. It's like a good street corner and outside frolic. I'd have to say about the aspects of it here. Just vintage 2010s flavor. I'd say about this particular one is good for some Taco Bell pitches like that. So I'd say similar to the song Go, I'd probably say that Shottas La La is like a good mess hall type music as well, but just more outdoor and street corner type fashion. Just more in like the street lights, some of those type fairs, just having some Taco Bell outside and like a street curb, some of those type fashions. This neighborhood jaunts pitches like that. It's good for like some summer smoke noise, some of those type fairs I'd have to say. I believe he's a nice one as well as like a dope mild sauce kind of snaring after. I believe he's a nice one as well as like a dope mild sauce kind of snarling after hours passage. I'd have to say about this one, just snack run and kind of demon time jump as far as this fair is going to happen. So yeah, just the particular appeal when I say mild sauce about some of this, it's kind of aspect of one that just kind of has that particular night shift kind of hero about it, but just has a particular night shift kind of bite about it, but just not with an aspect of like the usual kind of ferocity. It's just not drill, I'd say, with an aspect. Just kind of has the tone as far as like relative familiarity with like those aspects like 2010s type players, some type tones, but just more in the pitch of just is calmer and just to say plainer, not plainer in terms of quality, but just plainer in terms of like the bite behind it and the fierceness. It's kind of within the tone, just something to listen to and kind of like 10 o'clock after hours type product within the pitch, just some demon time jump. Demon time jump, I would definitely say within the tone. It's a good type fair. Free promos, a nice one. It's like a Malays kind of alt rock, like day surfing to kind of get within the products over here. Just smoke a nice one, just get some drive through pitches like that. It's kind of some go thoughts as far as this pitch will kind of happen. So just kind of a 2020s trap type variation, like something that would kind of be the aspect of something that you would have gotten from like late 90s and early 2000s kind of alt rock sounds type fairs. Just kind of a 2020s trap, something of like, Marcy Playground, Third Eye Blind sounds type folks in the pitch, just similar fashions to that. Foo Fighters within certain senses, even though they're more post grunge, but just kind of that particular 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock p.m. type dredge with the normal thug pain of this particular album. So it's good type pitches for that. One of them nights with Janae Aiko is a real nice one on here, real excellent type one. It's like a woozy and airy kind of R&B float to kind of get within these tones here. Just some nice gloss about this particular song. Just after moments kind of bleed out, I'd say here. Great Spotify choice on this particular type of ordeals like Janae Aiko is known for pitches like that. Moneybagg Yo suits this song pretty well. Excellent type pitch for that. It's a great song to marinate to pitches like that as far as those ordeals kind of have. So just, yeah, basic kind of after hours bleed, some type products just from the fashion, just something that's a little bit more pop centric. This particular, there are some moments on this album that do kind of have like the breakthrough breakthrough as far as this pitch can happen. It's not like I feel like the aspect of this album kind of stays mostly centered in like 2020s and 2010s trap songs type pitches, but it does kind of have the aspects for saying you do get some moments. Like I would say there is a particular one I'm trying to think of here. I can't remember which one it is, but like I feel like probably definitely a song like Waukesha has some good type examples of doing that. Hard for the Next with Future's pretty good example of getting towards some breakthrough as far as this pitch can happen. One of them nights is a good choice. There probably is at least one other one or something like that within those tones, some of those type ones, but I would definitely say one of them nights is like a good commercial grab within those aspects. Lisa and Lie is a nice one as well as like a vintage kind of early 2010s mixtape Twinkle kind of get within the aspects here. Just Get Crunk, kind of a quiet homie spark, I'd say, within the pitch behind it, as far as those pairs will kind of go along with it. Just good song for some meeker, kind of not so much meek in terms like just being just not and being kind of not so much meek in terms of being a pansy, but just kind of simple kind of gab pitches like that. It's kind of the ordeal like usual type fashions, but just not as ravenous as like most of Spark. This album does have some of that type fare when it comes to songs like Time Today and Go and some of those type ones and pitches like that. And I'd probably say at least within relative type fashions, probably something like I would say, I believe you, some of those type ones, but it's just kind of pitch and probably shot this, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying this one is not as much beat your chest like a gorilla within the full bound aspects, kind of has the pitch. It's just kind of more glancing blows within the pitch, more so than the full bound typeness, but it is, I mean, it definitely has the quality on here. It's not a square type balance, it's kind of more the pitch that it just kind of has like some brooding about it, just kind of the tone. There's kind of like an Eminem type brooding, Tech N9ne type brooding, where Eminem and Tech N9ne would get fucked up and kind of have some of those type moments, but it just kind of has not so much this full bound, say a chip on his shoulder, but just kind of pitch it, just extra thoughts in mind. So it does have some good examples of songwriting on here as far as these fairs going to happen. Now, Gangsta's Pain, the title track, is a nice one as well. It's like a glossy and quick ride around to kind of get within the aspects of it here. Just feeling determined, I'd say, just kind of a 2020s hustle grab. Kind of almost like a throwback to 2000s kind of hustle type songs with pitch, but just kind of more a variation of like it being in a new era, some of those type aspects. So this is one of the few type ones where it kind of bucks like most of the Malays about it. This is kind of one where it has the aspect as far as saying, fuck it, I'm going to get up and hop to it within some of those type aspects as far as those tones will kind of happen. So just kind of miss the pitch of just having some snap to it as far as this is going to go. So just miss the pitch. It just different from most of this album's tone. Bipolar Virgo's a nice one as well as like a sobering and malaise kind of day passage. I'd have to say within aspects of it, just kind of a sullen flip mode from like a long day. I'd have to say within those tones behind this good song to drift. So this is the particular fair about it as far as being like this kind of a flip mode, something to kind of welcome you past like the 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock p.m. type aspect that just got done with tasks and like the day shift type fair of music and work modes pitches like that. But it's kind of like a relative. It's kind of a glummer type one, kind of like an anti flip mode. I had to say usually flip mode type songs have a little bit more of like some good type revving to kind of get you sparked up pitches like that. But this is kind of like one that kind of just not so much like it full bound makes the mood worse, but this is kind of like this the dredge of like, oh yeah, this is what I have to come home to, some pitches like that within those ordeals. So this kind of pitch for saying it's interesting type pitch to get like a kind of negative type flip mode, but it's good type fair as far as those pitch can happen just within a relative aspect. Easy enough to kind of recommend some pick me ups that I'd say box of beer, some of those type products within it, but I don't think I've talked about Hate It Here. That's another nice one. Hate It Here is like a brooding kind of neighborhood, extra thought to kind of get within these products. Is compromise travels that I'd say with the aspect is kind of some restless tokes as far as those fairs kind of happen. Just something that kind of would more or less almost blow your high, something like that, just kind of within the pitch as far as those fairs kind of go. This typical hero about this album as far as these fits can have, but just more with kind of a more visible chip on its shoulder as far as this pitch can have, but just excellent within the fair, just easy kind of smoke that fashions, but just kind of some paranoia about it, or just compromisedness from the aspect, just kind of restless as far as this fits can happen. Good type pitch. Now, Love It Here on the other side of the thing. This is kind of a heroin type one as well, despite it being called Love It Here, it's the same sort of dredge of like some of these type ones are more makeshift in a sense. Love It Here is like a summery kind of pop smoke light kind of glaze, kind of go within the aspects of it. Just vague. It's like some good vacay kind of pain and sorrow. I'd say within those tones, just kind of peering. I would definitely say about this one, looking at sunset, some type aspects within the tones, as far as the tone of just like kind of some outdoor rumination and extra thoughts within some type pitch behind it. Just good, nice one to smoke nice too, as far as this fair is going to happen. So just miss the product of like this usual type dredge within aspects as far as those tones going to happen. So just particularly kind of bruised and brooding, but just the aspect of pulling off those particular vibes as far as just having some straightening with the aspect of just kind of getting back on track, but just within the tone of just having those moments where this is like some modes kind of sort out within those pitches as far as those aspects going to happen. So particular good nice fair has that particular aspect. Definitely reminds like a song by Pop Smoke, like the Woo, some of those type ones within those pitch when you think of like those summer kind of villa type songs that he would do with like his particular 2020 album, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon, some of those type pitches. It's a good nice one. So For Real is a nice one as well. It's like a harrowing but sobering kind of personable grime to kind of get within the aspects of it. It's very Yo Gotti similar, some of those type aspects. It's some mixtape dredge I'd say here and just a good push along. Yeah, for real, it'd be like some good soulful kind of house clean type music within pitch. This typical type product that feels almost like within certain fashions like the mid 2000s, but this particular kind of mixtape dredge within aspects as far as those tones gonna happen. For real, it's like some personal kind of push along as far as those pairs are gonna happen, just in a heroin type sense. So this nails the particular aspects as far as getting towards it. This easy kind of fashion is something that this feels ripped out of like this particular past 20 years or so in terms of like uh mixtape soul pitches like that. So good type tones. Good type tones. Certified Neptunes is a nice one as well. This has a quiet Pharrell feature on here with some good type fashion. Just the aspect of them linking up. Good type fares for that. It's like a pounding and erratic kind of relative paranoia and head trip, I'd say, with the aspects of it here. Just kind of a blurry pace. This is one of those type ones that just has a quick type fashion, but just kind of more caught up in like the quickness of the fashion as to how things are kind of getting towards it as far as this pitch is going to happen. Just kind of the erraticness, but just by saying just kind of, it's not so much sloppy, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying just a little bit just going at like some high speeds within those aspects that just kind of having like that particular tone of some blurry kind of city outings as far as those fares are going to happen. So just kind of like a 2020s trap type variation, like some East Coast type grit within those aspects as far as those tones have this good type pitch for that. I think the last song I haven't talked about on here is Clear the Air. This is like a crisp and darkly elegant kind of vintage early 2010s trap and like a new era kind of haunt. I'd say about this one, pretty hot type song kind of get within these aspects. This particular song, Clear the Air, should definitely take it back to like the Dat Piff days, pitches like that, as far as those first gonna happen. Just definitely Primera type stuff within those pitches, good familiar type aspects, kind of get to some of those type tones, excellent nostalgia about some of that, just overall blistering type song within pitch. Definitely an album standout, I'd say, within some of those type ones. Just easy kind of snack run type music, smoke a pretty clean type L stones type pitch within the format, just really getting tore up and just appreciating like those particular times of Primera type form. So just the pitch as far as saying, yeah, all 20 of these songs recommended. I mean, there's plenty of blistering type ones on here as far as these aspects gonna happen. I think I talked about every last one as far as these tones gonna happen. So yeah, 10 out of 10 score. The social score I'm going to go ahead and give like a 10 out of 10 as well. Now within these pitches, it's more social media bound within those aspects. So it's not to say it's not quality within the pitch behind it, just in terms of something. It's just kind of fashion in terms like Janae Aiko's probably like the most pop centric name on here as far as these pitches can happen. It's definitely excellent type of appeal, playing a good type moments. This is more of a trap type album. It's not like that's a bad thing whatsoever. It's just kind of pitch as far as saying it just particularly nails his strengths, and this is back when Trap was in his full bound stride as far as his pitch can happen, was still kind of on the upswing, some of those type fares. So it's just kind of pitch as far as saying within those particular vibes, this is an aspect that proves the fact that music did have some thrills about within the aspects, not as full bound to say. Now it's within the pitch, within the compared. I mean, there were complaints enough within those aspects as far as like the tones, as far as saying compared to like it's just more the adaptation to the changes that kind of happened throughout the past 15 or 20 or 25 years within some of those type pitches. That's kind of within the format, but it's just kind of some good type tones getting towards some of these type products. It's further blistering typeness. The social score, yeah, I think that's what I was trying to talk about. The social score getting a 10 out of 10 because it's the ordeals as far as saying normal score gets a 10 out of 10, social score gets a 10 out of 10. Just the pitch as far as saying I do like these cretinous kind of mess hall type songs in the pitch. I do like the throwbacks to 2010s trap zones type pitches in the form of a more Dat Piff mixtape type noise. Some of these Taco Bell Jaunts pitches like that. Do like some of the mixtape or do like some of the vehicle commerce and stunt type tones and just the overall makeshift dredge zones type aspects within the tones as far as those pitches can happen. Some of the DJ drama mixtape soul, some of those type ordeals, and the personal kind of homebound type ones, and really it nails a number of personal type moments that do you feel the pain off this particular album as far as these first episodes. It's basically like a trap type variation of something like Eminem and Hobson and Tech N9ne, some of those type folks in the pitch, and NF, some of those type folks in particular. So it just nails those particular aspects about it. It does have a good personal type side that's not square like and it's actually engaging. So it's just pitch first and it nails those particular aspects about it. It has some social turn up on here, despite the fact that it's not as full bound ferocious in the aspect like chest being like a girl pitch like that. It's not like old dirty bastard type crazy. Not to say that there's not to say there's a problem with that, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying it just kind of has more the way Eminem would kind of brood, but still have some turn up within those fashions, kind of the way that Moneybagg Yo kind of does as well. So this kind of pitch as far as saying it's kind of more preoccupied, kind of mess hall jaunts and dis recreation as far as this was kind of, but excellent within the pitch. So in terms of future, like I want to say Moneybagg Yo has dropped some recent fares as far as this project's gonna happen. This is relatively recent, but there are some further type ones. I know he's at least dropped some albums up to 2024 pitches like that. There might be some other ones on the way as far as this pitch can happen. Like I said, I want to get to the one with Black Young, so some of those type of ordeals. He's dropped mixtapes, pitches like that. So plenty of type classic type ordeals, but this is like a 2020s classic. I would definitely say banner type one that's probably going to be looked upon years later within pitch. A bulky type album that nails every aspect of what it does within. It's just kind of the tones for saying this is some blistering type stuff and like a brooding kind of urban makeshift type sense. Good type stuff.